What I'm saying in this case, Stephen A., is I agree with you. Justin Fields was one of the most ballyhooed prospects ever coming out of high school, right? Like, along with Trevor Lawrence. And for so long, it was like 1A and 1B. Are we sure Trevor Lawrence is better? And now all of a sudden, there are 4 dudes ahead of him. I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is when I watch, and Mel, I'm not pretending to be you. I'm just talking about what I see with my eyes is from Zach Wilson, arm talent. You know, I like Justin Herbert, we talk Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying he's any of those guys, but what they have, what Matthew Stafford has, like it's why the Rams think that he has a kind of arm talent, not just how far you can throw the ball, but an arm talent to me that jumps out at you. And that's why I like Zach Wilson second best in this draft. Fields third for me.
If Fields has that equally as good arm talent as Zach Wilson does. And I think when you look at it, Max, I think, look at Trey Lance. Trey Lance could go ahead of Justin Fields. Trey Lance played one game against one AA competition. It was a 50% completion percentage. Yet he could go ahead of Justin Fields in this draft. So as Mac Jones could be with only 17 starts, equaling the number of starts of Trey Lance. So I think when you look at Justin, if he does become the 5th quarterback taken, which looks like he may be.
Steal.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's at the end of the world. Like I said, Justin Herbert was the 3rd quarterback taken. Rodgers fell into the 20s when we were projecting him to go number 1 just weeks before the draft. Spurgeon Wynn from Southwest Texas State, Max, went ahead of Tom Brady. Okay? So when you look back into history, we talk about all these issues, but the bottom line is if you're the final quarterback taken in the 1st round, it's going to be in the top 10, in my opinion, for Justin Fields, then you're in good shape because history has proven that whether it was Dan Marino, whoever it may be, Brett Favre in the 2nd round, when other quarterbacks went in the 1st, that quarterback that fell 9 times out of 10 has done really well in the NFL.
Mel, I think you'll agree with what I'm about to say. Everything, Max, isn't predicated on just your ability. It's about your availability. It's about your discipline as well. When we think about Daniel Jones compared to Dwayne Haskins, I don't think we were wrong in surmising or coming to the conclusion, rather, that, okay, Dwayne Haskins, based on him coming out of Ohio State, some of the things that he was capable of doing, that you know what, I'd rather have faith in him than Daniel Jones. The problem is that once they got to the pro level, Daniel Jones showed that he was more of a grown-up. He had his head in the books. He was studying film, studying the playbook, trying to be ready to play, particularly to be the successor to Eli Manning. Dwayne Haskins clearly wasn't disciplined enough to do the kind of things that he was supposed to do. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not even a matter of talent between Dwayne Haskins and Daniel Jones because we still don't know as of yet. What we do know is that Daniel Jones was more of a grown-up, and that's the biggest issue right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mel.
I think you guys you just touched on something, though, and it's a deeper discussion, but because Justin Fields' work ethic was questioned for a second. Then people backed off that. That's an old trope about African-American quarterbacks, right? No, he has a work ethic. And now it's shifted to something more subtle. It's more nuanced.
I agree with that.
Is he sophisticated enough to get the defenses quickly enough? And that's a
I'm
more
just saying that's not
trope.
applicable to Haskins.
By the way, I understand.
That don't have nothing to do with Haskins.
But just sticking with Fields versus Zach Wilson, so I'm sensitive to that. It's one of the reasons that there aren't more African-American offensive coordinators or head coaches. That's a kind of like very subtle theme now that's being worked in that I think is bad, okay? I'm not talking about any of that. I'm just talking about arm talent. Zach Wilson, to me, Mel, has it even on a different level than Fields. I defer to you, but that's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, and Max, I wouldn't get involved in that whole thing about the work ethic and whatever. Joe Flacco said it wasn't always the first one in or the last one out. And he won a Super Bowl here in Baltimore and had 10 really good years. Like I said, I don't have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to do a show that starts at 7. If I get up at 6:45, I might still be okay. Everybody learns and evolves once they're in the league. Joe Flacco had a great career here in Baltimore. He's got a Super Bowl ring. He was unstoppable in the postseason. So you don't always have to have that 10 in terms of passion, work ethic to be a successful quarterback in this league. And in terms of Justin Fields, he's still young. He'll learn what needs to be done here. And I think the fact of the matter is, who gets the locker room? And if you don't get the locker room based on what happened against Clemson when that Skowski hit took place and you played through that painful injury and led your team to a victory over Trevor Lawrence, performance over all the talk usually gets players' attention. And the performance, on a performance level, Justin Fields had few peers the last 2 years at the collegiate level. Outside of 2 football games, Indiana and Northwestern, he was relatively flawless in all those other games.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.